Hi everybody, this is Beth from Talkin Wellness. So we're here today with Shauni, who I'm super excited to announce is one of our Wellness 360 employees. So Talkin Wellness is just a place where we get to sit and we get to talk with local professionals about health and wellness. So, as always, I'm Beth from Wellness 360 and
I'm Jay Vernon from Webster Parks and Recreation.
So we've kind of just come together with the common theme of health and wellness. And we thought it'd be really cool to just take some time and talk with local business professionals and see what they're up to and see their version of wellness and really just kind of sit back and have a great time. So, Shauni, I'm super excited. Let's talk a little bit about you. So I have to say, I met Shauni a couple years ago at massage therapy school when we were interviewing to hire a massage therapist. And I fell in love with her, so I'm super excited that a year later we've decided to cross paths and journey. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yes, so I lived in New York City a couple years ago, and I left because of the pandemic, and I thought I was going to be here for 2 weeks, but here I am, 3 years later. I lost my job, which kind of geared me to explore my love for massage, and I had the chance to go to school. I applied kind of that same month, went to school, got my license, and then I met you, and now I work at Wellness 360.
That's awesome. So when I met Shauni, it was just, when you meet those particular people and their energy is so just perfect. And so when we talked, it started as I'm moving back to New York City, but, and I was like, figures. Yeah, I know, please don't go, please don't go.
Yep.
So tell us why massage therapy?
Yeah, I've always been a part of like the healing arts biz. That's what I always say. I've always been interested in healing. And I am a music buff, so I was like, okay, that is healing, but I'm missing like the physical touch part of healing. So I've been massaging, as we do as massage therapists, like we massage our family and friends for our entire life, and they're like, oh, you should go into massage, and you're like, oh my gosh. The older I got, the more I'm like, actually, I really want to learn about the muscles and, musculature, because I didn't know. I had no idea. I was like, oh, I can actually help people by doing this. So that's kind of how I trickled into that.
I guess there wasn't a lot of positives out of COVID, but you can almost say kind of was that last little push for you to actually.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure that, it's true for a lot of people in a lot of different professions, but it pushed me in that direction, I think, during a time when, people couldn't touch and they're 6 feet apart, and people needed that physical touch, so there's that aspect too.
You know what? And here we go. We're going to go off on a tangent like we always do. But physical touch is so important, and I don't know if people realize how important. That's one thing I love about my job. We work a lot with the senior population, and I have worked on through massage therapy with people that have been widowed for years. And when I started to work on them, they'd start to cry because they didn't realize how long it's been since they've been touched in any way, their hands or their feet or their shoulders or it can be a very healing process.
Yes.
It's really important. There's some studies, and I don't know off the top of my head, it's been a long time since I've read them, but it was part of our curriculum, that monkeys as infants, if they're not touched by their mother, they die. If they're put in a cage and not touched, they actually pass away. That's how important touch is in just being healthy and healing, and just this community and social aspects and all of the pillars of wellness. So, trying to think here. Well, what about wellness? Like Jay and I talk a lot about wellness. Speaking of our new mugs, we'll have a up close shot at the end of these.
I don't know if anybody saw that.
Like there's so many different pillars of wellness. And Jay and I, speaking of COVID, we started this way back when COVID started, and we were all sitting there twiddling our thumbs trying to figure out how we can still promote wellness, not being able to see or touch anyone and be with anyone and work out together and this and that. And that's where Talkin Wellness came from. Remember, so Jay and I don't know if you remember this, but the very first time we did a Talking Wellness episode, and I'm sure you can scroll back through either of our YouTube channels and find it, we couldn't figure out how to get Jay and I and the camera at the same time.
I still can't
That's
figure it out.
amazing.
So we did the whole interview with Jay on a cell phone talking and me on the computer. And
I do remember that, yeah.
The workflow. We did
how
it.
far we've come. We
Yeah.
actually, we have a tripod now for our computer, and, you know, we have an actual facility, and we have mugs.
We have mugs, and then maybe we'll actually have some newer microphones as this develops.
Yeah, that's amazing.
One step
So,
at a time. But one of the things that I thought was really cool when we started this, because like you said, it was during pretty much lockdown. Obviously, we wanted some kind of vehicle to still get our message out, be relevant, you know, kind of keep our jobs actually. But I think really the most important thing, and what some people told me, was if people could still hear our voices. If they can't actually come into, you know, the rec center or to Wellness 360. In fact, I don't know if you guys had your physical business at that time.
no, we didn't. I was
Yeah.
working out of the front room of my house. We were
That's
just
right,
in the
yeah.
beginning phases of trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
You know, when COVID shut down, everything kind of stopped for us. I had a child at home. I couldn't leave because he was home, and
Yeah.
it was really a tough time for everyone. But look at all of us now.
Yeah.
Now we have this great show that we get to interview local professionals and meet pretty amazing people. I have Shauni. I'm going to say that 800 times. Yeah, and Jay and I have developed a pretty amazing business professional relationship, and we've started some really awesome programs out of the Webster Rec, our Caring for Caregivers program and our caregiver support groups, which are fantastic.
They're
And
growing every month.
we had to move them out of Wellness 360 because there's not enough space, so we're hosting them here. So it's really awesome. So back on track. Wellness.
Yes.
Tell me what your description is. There's so many different descriptions.
I think wellness, and I always talk to my clients about wellness at Wellness 360. It's about consistency, and I think wellness is about embodying healthy habits, mind and body, every day. As long as you keep your eye on the prize, you're going to be in a positive space, and you're going to truck forward. So I always talk to my clients about consistency. As long as you're in that headspace, if you have a healthy mind, it's going to reflect on having a healthy body and vice versa. So something I talk to my clients about a lot, actually.
I love it. Consistency, that crosses all of our wellness definitions.
Actually, that's something you told me a long time ago. I think on our first interview together, you said the word consistency, and I was like, wow, yes, because anything in life, regardless of wellness, it's like consistency. As long as you have you personally have the consistency, you'll be in a positive headspace.
I completely agree with you.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Jay. You know what? How many, and Jay, maybe you've experienced this, I'm not sure, but I have had so many people through physical therapy, they come to me one time, and then I never see them again, and they say, well, I was in pain 2 hours after I left. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you had 2 hours of no pain after one session, which means consistency of those sessions, it'll go to 3, 4, 5, 6, or I worked out with you, Jay, once, and I didn't get the abs I wanted, and, now I quit.
Never call me back.
Yeah, it's so...
That doesn't happen all the time. Yes, exactly. Or I was just so sore, but yeah, I think it's an awareness. Consistency is a great word. I think everybody owes it to themselves just to take time to figure out what it is that they need, because there's no, we talked about this, probably had no, but there's no one path. Well, it's just finding those little habits that work for you that you can do.
One thing at a time, as we've said a million times.
Being
one
social, enjoying family, all those different things. So there's really no one definition for it, and that's why I think it's awesome. When we do these talks with all these different people, everybody kind of has a spin on it, which is a great thing, because we're all individuals, we're all different, and this is going to mean something different to all of us.
Couldn't agree more. I like consistency, and I like, Jay and I talked a lot about one step. So I'm thinking of a couple patients of yours on our schedule that has never had a massage before.
Oh, yeah, yep, I get that all the time.
And now they're coming back
Yeah.
weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. But one habit always spins into a second habit, which it snowballs. Wellness snowballs.
Yes.
And you start with getting good sleep, and all of a sudden you're making better habits, or you're making better choices during the day, or you're making better choices during the day, which all of a sudden you can sleep at night, or everything in wellness really. You start to socialize in groups. I can't tell you how many people I talk about the Webster Rec Center senior program, because the social atmosphere of the program here is above all in any of the rec centers I've seen. They're just a great group.
I know, I hear it from my clients all the time. They're like, I love it. I'm like, that's great. That's wellness. That's a part of it,
Yeah. And having that social aspect, all of a sudden they're not sad, or they're getting out there and,
Well, like what COVID did with a lot of them. I mean, we didn't see, sadly, there's some of the seniors that we got used to seeing here, before the pandemic hit, that we haven't seen since. They just, never were able to come back, whether their families weren't comfortable with that or sadly passed on. But, I think having a place where you can engage with other people and do things that occupy your body and your mind are huge.
Yeah, make a positive and safe space. I always hear that from my clients, a safe space, and to explore your own wellness and get the education that you can from, us as professionals, but just a safe space. I've heard that so many times. I'm like, yes, good, that's great. That's what we want,
That's what, anytime someone says to me, I just want to feel better, and, will you heal me? There's no such thing as someone healing you. But what I always say is, we can provide a safe place for you to heal. We're not healing you. You're taking the steps. You're driving yourself here. You're making the appointment. You're showing up to exercise. You're showing up to Shauni for massage. You're self-caring. We just happen to have a skill set, and we're able to hold a safe space for you to explore that skill set so we can support you on your journey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So one thing that you mentioned, kind of just to backtrack, when you were in New York City and you were saying something about how you find music healing. Maybe we can segue into our next question here is, maybe tell the viewers something you might not know about. It might have to do with music, maybe?
Maybe, I'm not sure. I can't confirm. Yeah, so actually when I lived in New York City, I did a lot of albums for new musical theater. So I was in the studio a lot. I actually went to school for musical theater and dance.
Local school, by the way, and she won the what?
The Jimmy Awards in 2011.
It doesn't matter. We have patients to come in and say, Shauni's a big deal. She won the Jimmy Award.
Oh,
I'm like, that's amazing. So
I know that.
I had to throw that in there.
That was a plug.
It was a plug.
But yeah, so I did theater, growing up, in Rochester. And when I moved to New York City, I kind of got involved with recording. It was like I fell in love with being in the studio. I got my manager out there. So currently, I still fly back and forth to the city, do shows. I do collaborations with producers and the EDM scene. So I still am very involved with music, and I realize how lucky I am to get to do both things that I love every day, which is pretty awesome. So
Yeah, I think that's fabulous. And another plug. When I met her, I had to Spotify her, because you got to find her on Spotify. So we'll give you all the links to find Shauni on different places to hear her sing, because she is fantastic and fabulous, and you are always on my search engine every time I go to look for something new. You're always on my search engine. So when I met you, you were so excited about incorporating your two passions into one thing for wellness. So I'd like to sit back and kind of let you talk and explore about how you combine, because a lot of people think music healing, music and wellness, massage, music, like how does that fit together? How does that blend? And that's what Wellness 360 is all about. So I want to know, what's your plans? Like, how do you see that going?
Yes, I'm sure from the first time I talked to you, it's changed too, because I've learned so much about, this craft and my other craft, at once. So, I think when I had first talked to Beth, I was very excited. I had met somebody who did laryngeal massage for singers, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's something that I'm really interested in. But as I started working at Wellness 360, I was exposed to this big, beautiful community of people diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and how that disease affected their vocalization and how they communicated. And I wasn't ever exposed to that. So now that I work there, or I'm sorry, here at Wellness 360, I really have been thinking about how it affects not only singers, but people with Parkinson's disease, or people every day who have trouble, vocalizing. And so I really wanted to conjoin the two and come up with a program that I haven't been able to find yet. I haven't seen a program that is theater or music heavy for a Parkinson's community. I think that there's resources, but I don't think that there's like a program that is specific to that. So I really want to work on, laryngeal. That's something that I, will slowly learn as we go on, but vocalization, being in your body to communicate, giving people the confidence to do that, I think is a huge thing with Parkinson's too. So I'm still kind of figuring out the layers, but I think I am on my way to something that I'm passionate about, that I can help a specific community. I think it's awesome.
I could see, because I've actually had the pleasure of working with a lot of these folks. My dad actually, I don't know if he's been coming to Rock City boxing.
He's not becoming the boxing. I don't mean to call him out, but so if you're watching this, I won't say your name, but if you're watching this.
But it's a wonderful group, and I can definitely see how something like that might be a fun way to incorporate into the therapy. Because I actually think, for some, and you guys probably see it a lot more than I do, sometimes there's a bit of a roadblock to maybe do the exercise and do these things because they associate it with, a condition, and it's hard sometimes for them to wrap their minds around the fact that, well, I have Parkinson's or whatever, rather than, understanding, well, these are things that we can do to continue living as independently as possible, to continue to enjoy our lives. So I could definitely see something like that being popular with a group like that, especially getting to know some of these specific people.
Well, and a lot of them are very passionate about music. So it's kind of taking my passion and my connection with them and being like, okay, this is a love of yours. How can we incorporate that into your everyday life, so that Parkinson's doesn't define you, and that you can still do the things that you love and, feel better and have optimum wellness, whatever that means to you. So
I talk a lot about that in my mindfulness class, about the labels. And putting labels, even labels of, a diagnosis or something that maybe that triggered you as a child, or, well, I'm always the smart one, or I'm always the loud one, or I'm always the bigger one, or I'm always the, or I'm this diagnosis, or I'm this size, or I'm this weight, and how to shed those labels and just be. We are all dealt different hands in life, and sometimes we get a great hand, and sometimes we get not a great hand, but how do we play that hand in the most beneficial way possible? And like Jay said, just the exercises are not necessarily for Parkinson's specific, but their functionality. The aging process alone, you're going to have difficulties sitting to stand, or you're going to have difficulties with getting around and doing day-to-day things, and cognitive issues. That comes with aging anyway. So sometimes it's hard to pull apart, well, this is because you have Parkinson's, or this is because you have this, or this is because you have that. And then I know people in their 50s that have heart disease, or heart attacks, and quite a few people actually that I've met that have been in their late 50s, early 60s with heart failure. And so I think Parkinson's aside, I think there's so many diagnoses out there that could be beneficial to.
Yeah.
Because communication, so COVID, people have been away from people, the communication has been blocked. And what does it do to your mind and your body? You slowly start to slip into depression, you start to slip into fear, you start to slip into anxiety and all these different things. So when you do come out, it's harder to be communicative. Is that the right word I'm looking for?
We're like,
they're not with me enough to know my lingo. So I find that, and I've talked to, like, I'm sure Shauni has a lot of people with Parkinson's, that they just kind of cower back because they don't have the voice. They don't have the projection. They don't have, the language.
Actually, it's funny, relating that to, here's a tangent, relating that to myself, I went through a lot of vocal issues when I first moved to the city, and I remember coming in and feeling defeated socially because I couldn't project, I couldn't do certain things. I mean, this is a much smaller scale, and I remember sitting in the office filling out a form, and it was like, do you feel it inhibits you socially? Your voice condition. I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
You don't think about it.
You don't think about it. So I think, that's a big thing too, is people come in for massage and they don't even realize that they feel that way or that it does inhibit them until they're in a social situation.
I think that's a great point in kind of a plug for you guys. I think Wellness 360 does a great job with like your caregivers, outings and social events that you have too, because I also think wellness is about community. I work at a community center, we're sitting in one right now, but it's bringing people together, because whether you're diagnosed with Parkinson's or heart disease or cancer, or you're overweight or you're too skinny and you don't think you're strong, or whatever it might be, we're all kind of united in that in some way. So kind of I think what we're trying to do is bring people together. We can throw in little educational nuggets here and there. Just understanding that, find out what is important to you, and, involve yourself in social situations. I never thought of myself I always thought of myself as more of an introvert that had a real extroverted streak.
That surprises me. I don't see you. I can see you introverted at moments with your books, but.
Yeah, with my books, or like if I'm in like a real crowded place, I'm not a big fan of that. But anyway, I think regardless of that, I think engaging, whether it's with people or other things, and figuring out what it is that makes you happy. And again, it's I can't sit here and speak for someone diagnosed with Parkinson's. I'm not living in their body, or I'm not living their life, but I've seen a little bit with my dad, and I think a lot of the things that we're talking about is exactly that. It's just I don't want to be defined as this. So I think a lot of the stuff that certainly you guys are doing, and certainly what we try to do here, is kind of dispel some of those things and just get people to feel comfortable with, hey, I'm still a person. I am still whoever you are. So very important.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and as a plug to all of our places, like if any of our viewers out there have something that you would like to see developed, or something that you're looking for, yearning for, or something that you're needing as far as a group community, let us know, because you got the table right here of people that develop these kind of plans. So I definitely think it's important if you can bring like-minded people into a same room. What amazing things, whether it's communication or socialization or support or education or all of those things is so important, because we all really and truly, we just want to empower you. That's the whole reason we do any of this, is to educate and empower our listeners and the people that follow us, so that you can make better, well-educated choices for yourself. And all of the choices might not be, I listen to some health podcasts or read books that Jay and I read together. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not drinking that. There's no way, you know? So, you know, you have to make choices what's good for you. And hopefully with all of these talks that Jay and I do, and with all of the links and things that we post, you can find something to latch on to and feel a part of our community. All right, so let's get down to like a little social level, like a little personal level with Shauni. Are you a reader?
I am, but I read a lot of theater books and music books.
Okay, so tell us about
Yeah,
that.
give us some
What's
recommendations.
on your bookshelf?
Okay, so this is one I haven't finished it because it's like a pick up, put down book. But it's called The Artist's Way. And it was recommended to me by a friend, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. And it's literally about recreating your artistry, finding your creativity again as an artist. And now that I have and I've been reading it through going to massage school, getting my license, starting this career. And I read it through my other career too. So now I'm like, oh, it kind of, you know, massage therapy is an art, you know, so I've been able to kind of connect that to like what I'm going through now, and your creativity through any craft that you do. So that's kind of a pick up, put down, but I'm still
I think
picking
it's
it up.
great.
Yeah, I love it.
I think all of our jobs are an art. All of our jobs.
There's certainly, I always say that, about the coaching realm. I mean, the X's and O's and all the technical stuff, that is certainly part of it, but where you resonate most and really get them, motivate people and really make the greatest changes is the part of it.
Yeah.
It's that human psychology, it's the, relationship stuff, so.
We were just talking about that exact thing, because I feel like the three of us sitting at this table, and I know I've talked to Jay enough to know that you're like this, but anyone can learn how to exercise and teach exercise. It's in a book, there's a test.
Oh, yeah. That is actually the easy part.
There's 1, 2, 3, it's very, this is how you do a squat. There's not a whole lot of movement in that as far as like, this is how you safely do a squat. But it takes a personality of creativity to make it, to build the relationships, to have people wanting to come back. It takes the creativity to build a class that somebody wants to attend. I've been to so many different classes, and I can tell you, I will stay or not stay due to an instructor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
how do they
in New
make
York
you
City,
feel?
that's the
Yeah.
same thing, yeah. It's how you feel, what you're getting out of the class, what you're getting out of that relationship with that person. Yeah.
And I've heard so many ideas come, because you and I are like fire hoses. We don't ever go through with anything that, well, we do, well, hello, Talkin Wellness,
Right.
but we have so many ideas, but that's creativity.
Yes.
Anyone can do the structure, but it takes the creativity and the passion behind what you're doing to make it, flow.
Yeah.
And to make it, and that's the whole point of Wellness 360, is to hire people like Shauni, and now I'm plugging us, is to hire people like Shani who are so passionate about what they do that they want to build this whole program around their passions, because you're doing what you love because you're passionate. People are coming and healing and becoming well because of your passion, and they're attracted to your energy, and the business itself is benefiting because now we all do amazing programs that I don't want to do laryngeal massage. That's not a passion of mine.
Right.
I mean, I could do it, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So you have to find all of those pieces of the puzzle that fit together to make that beautiful picture. Just like you said, vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
You're the vanilla guy.
Yeah.
You better expand on that.
Exactly, yeah. I do tend to be that person that, I'm a big believer that it's the low-hanging fruit, it's the big rock stuff that vast majority of us need to see those big life changes. So, and I've worked in the field for a long time now, where I've seen it with people, especially in the fitness realm, and even this day, but I think we're getting a little bit better, but certainly with social media and all the influencers out there, sometimes we get a skewed, or we're giving a skewed message to people that are just, trying to change their body type, or just to feel better, be healthy, whatever that means to them. But I think we make things way more complex than what they need to be. So just, having a good, strong foundation of basic movements. What are the things that we do every day? Why does it become tougher for us to stand up and sit down, or get on the floor and get back up as we age? So I'm more than happy to wear that mantle on this staff. I have a wonderful staff that do all these other cool stuff. But really, that's what it is. Even when it comes to working with athletes, there's all these different sports, but the foundational stuff is going to be the same across general population or whatever it is. So, but where the art and the creativity comes in to get people to do this stuff, because it can be very vanilla and boring, is you got to get creative in how you do it. But the other thing is too, you got to create buy-in by showing people that it's going to work. Once people start feeling better and moving better, and then it leads to high level, challenges and movements that they could do, then you kind of have them. But yeah, I have no problem being that guy.
Yeah, but again, it takes the personality and the person of the creativity to get people in there. I like that. I always thought of massage as an art. Yeah, always from day one. I just always thought, and a lot of people don't realize how hard massage school is.
It is hard. It is very hard.
It's so
it's amazing,
hard.
but it's hard.
I mean, it was exhausting.
Yeah.
It really
Well,
was.
you have so much practice in such a short amount of time.
And we had a 2-year program.
Oh.
So ours was a full 2-year
my
program.
gosh.
So we had the college courses and all of that. It was 19 credit hours for 2 years straight through the summer and everything. And it's so a lot of people think that, people just go to a small school and learn how to rub feet. That is not it. That is
We
not
do
it
rub
at all.
feet, but
Yes, we do rub feet. But there's so much more to it. How about you, Jay? What have you been reading?
Ooh, I've been actually doing probably more podcasting than anything. Probably on a nerd level. I finally finished The Oxygen Advantage by Beth and then Breathe by James Nestor. So they're kind of good books that put in perspective the importance of breathing, beyond just normal respiration. Obviously, we're talking here. It's a rabbit hole that you can get lost in forever, and I've incorporated that type of thing to a lot of the things I do, whether it's getting people in better positions, getting people to de-stress and that type of thing. So those are good reads. I'm trying to get back to doing more guilty pleasure reading. So I get out of the library. I got I think it was called Celtic Fire by Clive Cussler. It's like a suspense, fictional, completely, unbelievable, never could happen in reality type of spy.
Kind of like my vampire book we talked about last time.
Yeah. So I'm willing to try anything, but I realized kind of getting away from reading for pleasure. I mean, I get pleasure out of reading.
Yeah. Right.
Really anything, but it's one of those things you just get lost in, no matter how impossible it is.
I do a revolution between self-help, education, and then just pure whatever guilty pleasure. And now I'm kind of riding the suspense train too.
Yeah.
I just finished one like the Lost Woman or something like that. It was really intense and very suspenseful. The ending was thrilling, but I've been doing the Huberman Lab podcast. I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
I believe he's in neuroscience.
Yes, I've heard
He's
of
really good. He's on Spotify, and I've been doing a lot of the Huberman Labs. First thing in the morning, you get up, you get sunlight, and you walk forward because there's something in the neurons in your eyes that release certain things when you're walking. It's amazing when it breaks down to to get sun in your eye, but that motion and why, and he talked about how the neurons get set in your eyes and how it does something to the brain and releases certain really important chemicals. I know I'm being very scientific right now, but so he's a neuroscientist, but he talks on your level. So you're not, I mean, even being in the health and wellness, there's a lot of neuroscience that I would be lost in.
It can be hard to read or listen to things that are very spoken in science.
Well, you have to go look it up and then go back and
Right,
back and
right.
forth.
Get a Google out and research and you're
I'm
going.
always
Hey Google, what's
in
this?
awe. I'm always, really impressed when you have authors or, people that educate, that can speak it in terms of it, because otherwise you really, it's hard to
That's a
educate people.
whole
They don't
other
understand.
skill set.
Yeah.
For
You'd have to
creativity,
constantly-
right there,
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, and even with podcasts, the longest time it was all more career-related strength and conditioning, which are all great science-based stuff. But I think I've been listening to one history of World War II. This one, the Jordan Carpenter show. She interviewed all these people. So one of the last ones I listened to was he interviewed Sammy the Bull Romano, an ex-mobster. He was like John Gotti's
Yeah, that's
right-hand man.
interesting.
So I mean, my jaw is like on the floor. I'm listening to all the stuff that this guy did. It was like a 2-hour podcast. So it's fun just to open up your mind. My wife's a big reader and podcast as well. So I have to do what I can to keep my intellectual out there.
Yeah, that's something to talk
But
about,
it is
right?
good just to expose yourself to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Useless knowledge. Hey, you ever get in the Trivial Pursuit?
You never know. You never know. And I always learn something I can put into my work.
Yeah.
Something. That's what I get.
Well, we talked a little bit earlier too about, a big part of what we do in helping people is to be able to relate to them on a personal level. So the more well-rounded you are, the more conversations, the more you can add to conversation. So if someone, has a real interest in, history, and you have, a little bit of that, you can kind of engage with them on that level too. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, I connect that with music too. I always talk about when I do interviews for my music, I'm like, the more well-rounded I can make myself, the more well-rounded my music will be, the more relatable it is. And that's the same thing with massage and what you do. Like, you have to connect and be a well-rounded human to be able to, share your creativity with somebody else.
So here's what I'd like for you to do.
Okay.
I would like for you to put together a record of music that you play during your massage.
I would love to do that.
And then, don't say anything. And wait to see how many people recognize that it's you and your voice in the massage. I don't think that would be the best. Don't tell a soul. Just wait to see. I'm like, that sounds like you.
I love that.
I think it'd be
And then
great.
as you're massaging, you can start singing.
Yeah, I'm singing along.
That's even better.
Oh
That
My guys are really good acoustics in here.
No, I do. I play a different kind of music. I don't play like meditation music. I don't know if you've ever heard in
I do
know, but
energetic drumming. I do all kinds of different
I
things.
don't do that stuff. I do like it's like called lo-fi, which is like slow drum beats, but it's music. There's jazz in it. There's a little bit of everything. So I think that is my little way of being like, oh, okay, I'm enjoying the music, but other people connect to it. They're like, this is different.
I actually had someone tell me that they came to me for massage because I blended with the music.
Oh.
And that was an actual comment that I got from a massage I gave from a musical professional
What a
who would
compliment.
come to me because he says it feels like the music and you all intertwine into one. And the treatment, he's like, you just,
It's like a choreographed piece.
it's a choreographed piece, yeah.
I think you know the next, how you're going to branch out next. You should add music therapy to wellness. You already have it.
We're working on it. She's got a plan coming right now, so to be, to be continued.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what
I see
she's
that
doing
as an
on her
opportunity
train
of
ride.
maybe a program here too, or a talk, or something. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know where to find me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were
Yeah.
a stone throw away.
Yes.
And I'm here more than I'm not here anymore, so. All right, so this has been so much fun. So we're gonna spend the last couple minutes talking about so I wanna know everything, where can people find you? In music world and massage world, yes, go there.
Okay, so obviously on Facebook and Instagram, this is Shauni Music. You can find me there.
And there'll be links also.
Yes. And then on Spotify, you can listen to my music. It's just Shauni. And then for massage for Wellness 360, wellness360fitness.com. And then on the page, the first page, it's schedule a massage, and then my face will come up. I think I'm the only one that comes up right now.
You are the only one that comes up, yes.
So you'll see me, and then what I offer, and then availability from there. But yeah.
Awesome. Jay, you have a family fun night coming up that we will be hosting a table for.
Yep, August
So throw a table out for us.
19th. Friday, August 19th, 6 to 8, Miracle Field, which is behind the town hall, behind the police department, right next to the court building. So there'll be a lot of fun, food trucks, awesome community vendors and organizations like Wellness 360 will be there. We'll have some first responders and some fire trucks, police cars like we did last time. There'll be some giveaways. We'll be selling some T-shirts. We won't be selling these, but maybe we'll be selling maybe we'll raffle some of these for anybody that
would be perfect. Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then our second annual mud run on September 17th.
Oh, fantastic. I heard that was great the first time. We couldn't make it, we were out of town.
Yeah, so again, it's going to be a lot bigger, working with our awesome parks crew. It's going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be muddier. We have some cool obstacles and some ideas. We have a lot bigger vendor area this year. Giveaways are going to be even nicer. And so, August 19th and then September 17th. Make sure you check out our Parks and Rec website and register for Mud Run. You don't have to register for the family fun night.
And always we'll have those links too, because the website page is being improved. Just throwing that out there.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. I can figure it out now.
Yeah,
so it's getting
and
better.
it might actually start getting even a little bit more, a little better, but a little bit more unique to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I like that.
It's been a slow process. Even our program guide this time, Tracy did a great job with it. So we're getting better at engaging, with the community and
it's good. I can
promotion
find
and
things.
all that stuff. So still got a long ways to go, but.
Wellness 360, we have a talk, and unfortunately I don't have the date off the top of my head. You may have the date. Is it the 19th?
It's the 19th. And it's
Yeah,
the 19th.
August 19th.
Yeah. At 1:30,
Shauni and one of our physical therapists, Nicole, is going to be giving a talk for free at Callahan Harris PT on Parkinson's and shoulder pain. So that is completely free, and you can come to that talk. We have our Caring for Caregivers coming up in the next month or so, and we have our Caregiver Support Group the last Tuesday of the month here at our Webster Center.
Yeah, maybe we should put some info on that and the links as well too, because there might be some people out there that could really benefit from that. I know, just speaking from personal experience, I know my mom has been a lifesaver for us. She really looks forward to those monthly chats with Jeannie and all the great people there too. So.
And let me throw a little plug. This caregivers thing kind of was developed because we treat a lot of Parkinson's, and it was my passion when I saw the caregivers, trying to get here and there and all these doctor's appointments and how exhausting that process was. My heart grew for them, and we have been slowly developing a caregiver support group and a Caring for Caregivers respite night. So what that is, the support group, this is not people sitting around a table and being sad. This is a group of ladies that are so high energy and so supportive and so loving and kind. But the good news about the support group is you can bring your loved one. So it's completely free, and you can bring your loved one and they can hang out with me and Jay. And we play pool, and we sit, and they just socialize, and there's a TV, and there's couches, and all kinds of things, but they're being well supervised and well taken care of. And for the Caring for Caregivers night, it's a 2-hour night where it's not a support group, it's just a bunch of ladies having a good time. They bring wine and finger foods, and we're all in the same building, but again, I'm there to watch over the guys, and the guys and I will eat pizza, and we play pool, and we play foosball, and now you have an air hockey table in there, and Pac-Man, and all those games, and so they're being supervised, and the women, they play quarters, left, right, center, and they have the time of their life. So if you are a caregiver of someone with Parkinson's and would like more information, I'd love to put that out there too. Again, we also have an amazing Parkinson's program, along with physical therapy and other group fitness classes and massage therapy with Shauni. So, anybody have anything else to say? All right then. All right, Shauni, thank you so much for hanging out with us for the last hour. I hope you've enjoyed the show. For all of our followers, all the links that you'll need will be in the news feed below. And if you have any questions or comments, please link them below. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.